Okay, so welcome, Mark. I know we've been working together for a long time, and you know a lot about IFS, and you've done a lot of parts work.
Yes.
And I wonder if there are any particular parts up for you today that you'd like to really get to know and work on?
Yeah. I've been having a really hard time at work, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I work at this restaurant, and even though I've been promoted and all that, nothing I seem to do is enough there, and I don't have a lot of formal college training, so it's not worth going back. I'm too old for that, and you know, this dating world's just crazy. I just don't know what to do.
Hmm. There's a lot of stuff going on. So
Yeah,
let me see if I'm getting this correctly. When you say it's not enough there, is that enough for you, or not enough for your boss, or?
it's never enough for him, and with these people on these dating apps, it just seems like it's never enough. And
Can you say more about that? It's never enough. What's not enough?
I guess I don't feel like I'm enough.
Oh, that you're not enough.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So.
Not attractive enough, not educated enough.
So it sounds like you've got a part that feels like you're just not enough.
Yeah.
You're not enough for your boss. You're not enough for these people on the dating sites.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
just it's I just feel completely defeated by it.
Well, so a hopeless part,
Yeah.
defeated.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm kind of curious. As a therapist, I have to ask you this: do you have a part that's suicidal? Because when I hear about how kind of defeated and hopeless and not enough, I have parts that get kind of anxious and wonder if you're suicidal or have parts that are suicidal.
Yeah, I guess you could say I have one.
You have one?
It thinks about it a lot.
It does?
Yeah.
Would it be okay to get to know that part a little bit?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, all right, thanks. All right, so just like we've done before, why don't you just let your eyes close? It's a good way to go inward if you'd like to, but if you want to keep them open, you can.
Okay.
And just take 3 deep cleansing breaths. It helps to create some space inside. And just let go of the outside world for a few minutes. Tuning into your inner system. Trusting the wisdom of your inner system. And just see if you can find, Mark, in, on, or around your body where you carry this suicidal part.
It's like this tight feeling right here.
Right there in your chest.
Right there.
Okay. So really focus on it there in your chest. And see if there are any words associated with it, images, colors, with the suicidal part.
It's these dreams that I have, and they happen over and over. And I kind of just see them like sitting there, kind of like through a lens.
You see like recurring dreams through a lens in your chest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just kind of that same theme of, no matter what, it's like I have to complete all these tasks, but no matter what I do, I just can't. And it's just not enough. And
Just not
what's
enough.
the point?
Just not good enough, not enough. What's the point?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's kind of the theme of the recurring dreams, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just no matter what I do, it's just not enough.
Okay. Got it. So, would it be okay to ask the suicidal part right there in your chest if it would be? Well, let me ask you this first. Let me take a step back. How are you feeling towards that suicidal part in your chest?
Well, obviously, I don't like it very much because
Yeah.
it wants. Why would I want to kill myself? That's crazy.
Right. So a part of you doesn't like it and thinks that
No.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense too, doesn't it?
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like it's just being weak, trying to
Just-
take the
oh.
easy way out.
Yeah. Okay. So there's another part that's kind of critical of it, thinks it's weak and
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah. So see if you can let those parts know that we really get those perspectives. We're not taking sides. We get it. There's a part that doesn't like the suicidal part. There's a part that thinks that's crazy, a part that thinks that's weak. So let them know you get that, and see if they would be willing to soften back, maybe even wait in the waiting room for us. Or maybe sit in one of these other chairs so that you, the Mark who's not a part, can get to know this suicidal part.
It's not so sure yet, because it feels like if it steps back, then this one's just going to do whatever it wants, and then all this end up dead.
Right, right, that makes sense. This part sounds like a protector. It doesn't want to step back, because then if it does, the suicidal part will take over and you'll be gone. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sun keeps me safe. The other one.
The other one.
Yeah.
That stops the suicidal
critical part.
The critical part that stops the suicidal part. Yeah. Okay. Makes perfect sense. Can you let the part that worries about that know that there's another way we can do this, and I've done this many, many times, and I can actually help you to help that suicidal part not do that.
I guess it trusts you enough, so only if I can come back at the end.
Absolutely. We never
Maybe
get rid of any parts, and we're not trying to get rid of this critical part. We get it. It's kept Mark safe. It's kept you alive. So we're definitely going to invite it back. And if it wants to stay in the room and watch, it's okay, but we just ask if it would maybe not interrupt or not take over.
Sure. Maybe if it sits over here.
Okay, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine. All right, so checking in again. Now that kind of critical part is willing to sit over there, how are you feeling towards the suicidal part in your chest?
Sad.
Sad. Yeah, can you say more about that, Mark? Do you feel sad for it, or do you feel its sadness, or what do you mean?
It's kind of hard to say. It seems like a mix of those both.
Yeah, so it's both. Yeah. Can you ask the suicidal part if it would also be willing to separate from you for just a few minutes today, so that you can get to know it from a more open place?
It's kind of difficult. Just, I show you like this, and it just feels like it's stuck right here.
Just stuck right there, like Velcro,
Yeah.
like that?
Maybe even tighter than
Tighter
than Velcro.
Wow.
It'd be
Really?
nice just to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's been there so long.
It's been with you a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just reassure the suicidal part. We're not trying to get rid of it either. And believe it or not, the suicidal part is also a protector, has noble intentions. It's trying to help you the only way it knows how. But we want to let it know there's another way we can do this.
It's open to trying another way.
Okay,
I don't know
great.
if it wants to come off just yet, but
Okay.
it's open.
It doesn't have to
Okay.
come off just yet. But even if it would just give you an inch, it's okay. We just want to get to know it and help it.
It's
So
kind of levitating off.
Oh,
a little
good,
bit.
good. Can you just send it some appreciation for that? Because that's a real sign of trust that it's willing to move off of you, even just a little bit after all this time.
Mhm.
Great. Yeah. And how are you feeling towards it now, as it gives you just a little bit of space?
I feel the space. It feels a little lighter.
Good.
Everything just seems more doable.
Doable. Good.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Yeah. So can you access some curiosity and compassion for this suicidal part that's been apparently working so hard?
Now that it's here,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can kind of step back and look at it a little bit more,
Great.
or kind of see the space between.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah, good. All right, so let's just kind of interview the suicidal part, see if we can get to know it a little bit.
Mhm.
Okay. Can you ask it, told you it's been here a long time, it's been doing this a long time. Can you ask it when it got this job?
When I was a kid, I used to have these, I guess you would call them night terrors.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of telling me that's when it kind of started.
Okay, so when you were a kid, you had night terrors. Do you have a sense of when that was? Like what age?
Maybe like 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Mhm.
Okay. And usually night terrors are a little different than nightmares. These are not those recurrent nightmares that you were referring to earlier. These are
Yeah, that's
terrors.
different.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And the suicidal part, does it know who you are? The mark that's not a part?
If it could, this is just me seeing
Mhm.
it, but I think it's staring too close,
Mhm.
so it's hard to see me.
Yeah. See if it would give you just a little bit more space. Maybe if you took 2 steps back and the suicidal part backed up just a little bit more, it could see
Mhm.
you more clearly. See if it would be willing to do that.
Yeah. Now it looks like a little mirror.
Yeah, interesting.
That's interesting. That's weird.
Yeah, and sometimes our protectors, like the suicidal part, have been working so hard and they kind of have their back to us.
Mhm.
So, is it facing you?
I guess it's that shape,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like there's a mirror.
Yeah,
It's like a little mirror, like right there.
got it. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, so ask the suicidal part as it turns and faces you. Does it know who you are?
Surprised.
Yeah. What is it surprised most by?
It didn't. Almost doesn't recognize me because
Yeah.
I'm an adult.
Right, yeah. Ask it how old it thought you were.
7 or 8.
Yeah,
Kid.
yeah. And that's real common. A lot of times our protectors think we're still really young and need protection.
Yeah. Saying, why are you wearing that fancy shirt? I like to wear t-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
shorts.
Yeah, so maybe you can do some updating for this part, Mark, and let it know that you're all grown up. Let it know your age now, that you're a professional, a therapist, you have a wife and children.
Mhm.
Just do some updating. It might look like a movie montage. Just let it know all that's happened since you were 7 or 8.
Yeah.
All the time in Boston.
Wow. I remember us being there, but it was, I don't know, didn't quite take it in. I knew it was there, but it wasn't really there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been there all this time, but just take your time and update him on all that's happened. Let him know it's 2019.
Feels like the mirror is getting bigger,
Interesting.
expanding.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And when it seems complete, ask him what it's like to learn about you.
Feels a little bit more rested now.
The suicidal part feels
Mhm.
more rested.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great, great.
Just kind of doing that kind of, huh.
Mm-hmm. It's taking you in.
Yeah, taking me in, taking a
Great.
breath.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
It's taking a breath. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like he's taken a breath in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you just send him some appreciation, Mark, from your heart space for how hard he's worked? Because I'm really getting the sense that he's worked hard for you for a long time to try to get you out of here.
Mm.
So when I say appreciation, I don't mean for what he's trying to do, but for his intention of trying to help. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost, when I look at him, it's almost like he's becoming a person instead of, well, in addition to this enlarging mirror,
Mm-hmm.
which is odd.
Mm-hmm.
But it's both when I am in his perspective, I'm a person, but when I'm
Mhm.
looking at it, it's like this expanding mirror.
Got it. Got
Odd,
it.
but
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And is he able to take in your appreciation? Do you think? When
Yeah,
you send it to him?
he's smiling now.
Good. Wonderful. So ask him, how does he feel towards you now, the Mark who's not a part?
I don't want to kill him. That's what he's saying.
Oh, he's saying that.
He's saying that
That-
about me.
About you, that he doesn't want to kill you any longer.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
want to go to that length.
Oh, good. Good.
Maybe there's another way. I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, that's exactly what we want to do, is let him know that there's another way. We want to give him some hope here, that there's a whole nother way we can do this, and let him know that when the time is right, that you can help the young one he protects you from. And we're going to ask that young one to go slowly and gently, and promise not to overwhelm you. And let him know that you're here now, you couldn't be here then, and you can help that little Mark. Would he be open to that someday?
Definitely.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you. So we don't have a ton of time today, but I wonder if the suicidal part would be willing to just introduce you to that young one. Would he be open to that today, or not? Not yet.
Yeah, it's ready to. It still wants to be here.
Still wants to be here. Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
get rid of any parts. So
Yeah.
he's welcome to stay here and watch. He can stay real close. In
Yeah.
fact, he can shut it down if he wants to at any time.
I don't think he wants to shut it down. He
No.
just wants to be close. I think he wants to be here for the moment.
Wonderful. He can definitely be here. All right.
Yep.
Thank him for that. And can you see the young one yet, that he's been protecting you from?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how are you feeling towards that little Mark?
He looks scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he probably just woke up from one of those night terrors.
Oh, yeah. So, how do you feel towards him from your hurt space, as he looks so scared?
Just want to go up and give him a hug.
Yeah. A lot of compassion towards him.
Yeah.
Before you just do that, see if it's okay with him. He might not know who you are either.
He's kind of facing away.
Yeah.
I think I have to kind of let him know that I'm here, so I don't
Yeah.
freak him out.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
the last thing he needs.
Right, right. You get that about him, yeah. Yeah, so let him know you're here. Ask him to turn and face you, just like you did the suicidal part. Is he looking at you?
Yeah, he's kind of bent over, but he's kind of peeking up with one eye.
Mm-hmm. Ask him if he knows who you are.
He's shaking his head no.
Mm-hmm. Let him know that we made it. I am the grown-up you, and I've come back to help you. And just like you did for the suicidal part, maybe doing some updating for him, showing that little Mark all that's happened all these years.
It's like, I didn't know you could do all that.
It sounds like he's impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, good. Just let him know you've come back to help, and you know that you're the one he's been waiting for, and you can help him. And let him know that we don't have a lot of time today, but we have a little bit of time, so if you'd like to, you could take him to a very calm, secure place. If he would like to, but he doesn't have to. Would you like to do that, or not just yet?
Yeah, but only if, he says only if I come back.
Yeah, he
come
doesn't want you to abandon him. Yeah,
Yeah.
let him know you're going to come back many, many times.
Yeah.
And check on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where would you like to go? Would you like to go to a beach, or a mountaintop, or a cabin, or to your home, or somewhere more present, that he doesn't have to stay stuck in the past? He's been living back there.
There's a place in my neighborhood that he knows about.
Mm-hmm. Your neighborhood now?
Yeah, my neighborhood now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's kind of this common area, but it has like this nice little seating area.
Okay. Can you take him there now?
Mm-hmm.
Good, good. And just spend some time there with him. What we call self to part. Just connecting. Letting him take you in, letting him get to know you. Allowing yourself to get to know him. And letting him know when the time is right, we can witness anything he has to show you or tell you about what he's been through.
He's asking, you want to do it now, or should we do that later?
Yeah. Well, maybe we should do that later when we have lots of time. We don't want to rush in.
Okay.
Okay. We only have a few minutes left.
Okay.
So let him know that when the time is right, you can do all the witnessing that he needs. And if he needs you to intervene for him in some way, you can. If he just needs you to be with him in a way that no one could back then, that he's got an adult that can be with him through any difficult times, any night terrors or anything he went through. And let him know that you know magic too. And if he needs you to create a different outcome than what really happened, you can do that too. That all things are possible.
Yeah.
And what's it like for him to know that you're going to come back and help him out and witness?
He knows where my house is and where this area he's hanging out in is. He knows it's safe.
Good.
And he knows that, I walk by it all the time, so he knows that I'll be there.
Good. Good. Sounds like he trusts you to come back.
Yeah.
Good.
It's on top of a hill, so he's going to roll down the hill and play on it.
Good. Yeah.
While I'm,
Wonderful.
yeah.
And we want to give hope to a hopeless system. So not only are we going to witness what he has to show you someday, but also when the time is right, you can help him to release and unburden all that he carries. So he doesn't have to carry any negative beliefs or negative emotions or body sensations or anything. And how's he with that?
He liked that a lot.
Great, great. Then he can just be a carefree little kid as he was supposed to be.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Wonderful. So let him know you're going to leave him for now, but you'll be back to check on him. Does he need anything else to happen before we stop today?
He wants a root beer.
He wants a root beer. Can you get him one?
Sure.
Does he want it in a glass or a can? How does he like his root beer?
In the can.
In the can.
A&W.
A&W. He has a certain kind he likes.
Oh,
Good.
yeah.
Can you get him one? Good. Wonderful. So going back to some of the other parts in the room who've been observing, let's check in with them. We never want to forget about them. They were gracious enough to soften back. And just see if they have any worries or concerns, like the suicidal part that was protecting you from him and his pain. How's he with all that's happened?
He's kind of stepped back more. Because he wanted to be like right up in it.
Oh, you
But
gave him
he's-
even more space.
Yeah, he gave more space.
Thank him for that.
Yeah, he's liking what he's seeing.
Yeah, good, good. Just let him know there's a lot more that we can do for that young Mark. What about the parts that didn't like the suicidal part? The one there was a part that was critical of it. There was a part that was
Yeah.
kind of afraid of it and didn't like it. How are they doing?
Well, the part that's sitting over here,
Mm-hmm.
observing it, I think we call it the critical part,
Mm-hmm.
is just kind of leaning back. It looks like it's relaxed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, oh, are you done now?
Ah.
With whatever you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And see if it was aware of what was going on. Because
Yeah.
sometimes parts will check out and they need to be updated too. So to see if that part saw everything that happened today, because you did some really amazing things.
I think I'll need to update it. I think it kind of.
Checked out?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and update and let me know when that seems complete.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, okay, all good.
Okay, it's fine with everything that happened?
Yeah, I was okay with it. I was happy to know it could kind of relax
Mhm.
its rule a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it sees it, it's kind of seeing the, we'll say previously suicidal part that's you know, relaxing now, and it's like, oh, okay, that means I can relax a
Oh,
little
wow.
bit.
Well, that sometimes happens when there's a change in the system, other parts shift too.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank all those parts for softening back and giving you some space and letting you get to know the suicidal part better, and the young one that the suicidal part's been protecting you from. And we'll continue here next time and really give some relief to that little guy.
Sounds good.
Okay. So very gently, very
Mhm.
gradually, you can slowly come back to this time and place, reorienting yourself. What was that like?
Quite the experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Well, thank you very much for doing that.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah.